giving up your whole life to find success in Hollywood were easy, everyone would do it. For decades, actors, musicians, and personalities have struggled to make it big, and many suffered through poverty-stricken misery just to make their dreams a reality. Some even did it in spite of not having a proper bed to sleep in. Here are 10 famous celebs who were once homeless. Daniel Craig. Hard to believe that the dashing British actor who rejuvenated one of the all-time greatest film franchises was once so poor that he slept on park benches. As a struggling actor in London, Daniel Craig seemingly spent as much time sleeping in Hyde Park as he did reading in audition rooms. Nowadays, after 4 Bond films, Craig's penniless days are far behind him. Halle Berry. Long before she became the first African-American woman to win the Oscar for Best Actress, Halle Berry was 21 years old and living in a homeless shelter in New York City. In spite of her mother's staunch objection, the future X-Man and Bond girl persevered and eventually landed her breakout role in Spike Lee's Jungle Fever. Kelly Clarkson. When the future internationally renowned pop star Kelly Clarkson's LA apartment caught fire, she had no choice but to live in her car. What didn't kill her made her stronger, and Clarkson decided to move back home to her native Texas, where she auditioned for American Idol and became the legendary show's first champion. Jim Carrey. He may be snickering all the way to the bank now, but when Canadian comedian Jim Carrey was a boy, his life was no laughing matter. At the tender age of 12, Carrey's father lost his job, forcing his family to live out of a VW bus. It took years of perseverance, but by the mid-90s, Carrey was the biggest comedian in the world. Jennifer Lopez. She may still be Jenny from the block, but Jennifer Lopez probably doesn't want to go back to her pre-stardom days of extreme poverty in the Bronx. When the determined pop star and actress was 18, she decided to leave her broken family home to pursue her dance career and ended up homeless. She spent almost a year sleeping on a cot in a dance studio before catching her break on In Living Color. Tyler Perry. When comedian Tyler Perry was living out of a crackhead-infested pay-by-week hotel in Atlanta, he probably couldn't have pictured himself being the multi-millionaire movie mogul that he is today. After spending all his money on his play I Know I've Been Changed, Perry was virtually homeless for 6 years. The struggle paid off when that same play finally made him a star. Dr. Phil. These days, Dr. Phil spends a lot of time trying to give others hope, but when he was 15, the now popular TV psychologist didn't have much of his own. When he and his dad were separated from the rest of the family for financial reasons, they lived out of their car. Eventually, they found a room at the YMCA that cost only $5 a week but had no electricity. His net worth is now over $300 million. Jewel. Not many artists trek all the way from Alaska to make it in Hollywood, but singer-songwriter Jewel sure did. However, her voyage to platinum-selling success did not come without its fair share of hardship along the way. When she was fired from her job for refusing to sleep with her boss, Jewel lived out of her car, while performing in coffee shops and black box venues before hitting it big in 1994. William Shatner. Most people forget that Star Trek was not a success when it originally aired in the late 60s, lasting only 3 seasons. One man who can never forget that sobering fact is Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner, who after the show's cancellation was slept in the back of his pickup truck while doing summer stock theater. Oprah Winfrey. Perhaps the greatest rags to riches story ever, Oprah grew up in poverty with her grandmother in Mississippi, so poor in fact they used potato sacks as clothing. After her grandmother passed away, 6-year-old Winfrey ended up at a boarding house in Milwaukee, where she was raped and abused before breaking free and moving to Nashville to start her career. She is now worth over $3 billion. There's always hope, folks. But here's a couple other videos we think you might dig. And while you're here, please don't forget to click like and subscribe. Thanks.